Next up is the M locus, or the recessive mink locus. This locus actually has 3 different versions. There is American mink, UK mink, and Aussie mink, and none of these minks breed true. When I say breed true, it's kind of how Russian blue and American blue interact, basically meaning that they don't. So you will often see just a normal lowercase m for any of these minks, but you may also see an AM or an MO. The AM refers to American mink. I haven't really seen it be used for Aussie mink all that often, but the MO stands for mock mink, and I have seen that be used for both American and Aussie mink. So it's super important to make sure that you know which mink you're working with. Just like any other recessive, 2 capital M's means it's not carried and it's not present. The dash means we don't know if it's being carried. 1 lowercase m means it is carried. And then the 2 lowercase m's, or in this case, 2 lowercase am's or 2 lowercase mo's, mean that that animal is phenotypically mink. If you have more questions about mink, feel free to drop the questions in the comments down below, and I'll try to get to them as best as I can. Next up is the ME locus, or the Merle locus. This locus is actually a hippostatic dominant gene. Now, if you remember what hippostatic means, it means that this dominant gene will only express if certain things have been met. In this case, the animal has to have 2 copies of the same mink for Merle to express. It's pretty straightforward, but it does kind of trip a whole lot of people up because they think that because it won't express that this is being carried, but it's a dominant gene, so it cannot be carried. So, unlike recessives, on a dominant, 2 lowercase symbols mean that that dominant is not present. Capital ME, lowercase me, means that that animal is Merle. It's a het Merle. And then 2, capital ME, means that this animal is Homo Merle, and all of the offspring that it produces will have at least 1 copy of Merle, assuming that it doesn't also get any copies from mom. Next up is Pearl, which is the PE locus, and it acts exactly like Merle. It's also a hippostatic dominant gene, and the animal needs 2 copies of the same kind of mink for Pearl to express. However, unlike Merle, Pearl is a lethal dominant. If you don't remember what that means, it means that if an offspring receives 2 copies of the mutated dominant allele, the offspring will be absorbed in utero and will not be born. In the past, ethical questions were raised when it came to breeding 2 rats together who could produce homolethal offspring. However, now that we understand exactly how it works, it's perfectly ethical to breed 2 parents who each have 1 copy of the gene. Pearl causes hair shafts to be white with the very, very tips of the strands having color, giving pearls a kind of white, luminescent type undercoat. An ideal pearl will be very light in color. They're almost a silvery white, and they will have black eyes. Pearl should always have black eyes. However, dark phase pearls, which is what most people tend to see, have more color on the tips of the hair shafts, causing an overall darker appearance. So since Pearl is a hippostatic dominant, that means that 2 lowercase PEs means that the animal does not have that dominant allele. Capital PE, lowercase pe, means that that animal is either an expressed pearl or an unexpressed pearl. And then right down here, as you can see, the capital PE is the homolethal, and no living rat will have that. All of the rats who have that combination will be absorbed in utero. Next up is the P locus, or the pink-eyed dilute locus. This is often referred to as PED or PED. What this locus does is that it strongly dilutes the eye color and subsequently the fur color as well. So it doesn't act like a normal color loci, like Russian blue or mink, for example. Instead, it takes whatever active color loci that are on the animal and it massively dilutes them down. So PED on an agouti animal, which is written like this, is responsible for silver fawn, and then on a black animal, it is responsible for champagne. And just like every other kind of recessive, we know that this means that the animal is not PED and we don't know what it's carrying. The animal is not PED and it's not carrying PED. The animal does carry PED, and then this animal with the 2 lowercase p's is a pink-eyed diluted animal. Finally, we have the R locus, or the red eye locus. This locus is also known as RED, or red, and does a similar thing as PED, just not as drastically. So the red for agouti is fawn, and then the red for black is beige, and it works like every other recessive that we've talked about. So here's, we don't know if it carries, the animal doesn't have the gene present, carries red, and the animal is red. Now, a lot of people tend to think that the red or pink eyes that you find on Siamese, Himalayan, Tonkinese, Marten, and albino come from PED or red, and that's not true. Those red eyes come from the C locus and don't have anything to do with red or PED, but we'll actually be talking about the C locus and all of its combinations in the next video. So we'll cover all of that good stuff next. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them down below and I'll answer them as best as I can. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.